I know more about failure than anyone. And there's as much to learn from failure as there is from success. I truly believe that I found a common denominator of failure.
What's that?
It's so simple. Excuses. And let me share what I mean. Let's say you were failing at something, and that's not very likely, but let's say you were. If you wake up tomorrow morning and blame the government, the environment, the weather, you know, Joe Blow, if you blame anything or anyone else, you have no reason to change. But if you blame yourself, you're not going to like it.
Right.
So what happens that morning in the mirror? Do you look at the mirror and do you blame something else or do you blame yourself? And if you blame yourself, that's not cool, you change. So when I take a look at it and I say, well, if the common denominator of failure is an excuse, then an excuse becomes paralyzing. It's always a reason not to do what you should, or to do what you shouldn't, or to make a bad choice. So then I take it a step further and I say to myself, what's the definition of an excuse? So the definition of an excuse is the rationalization of a mistake. If you didn't make a mistake, you'd never mention the excuse.
Right.
There's no purpose for the excuse without a mistake. So if I can get people to stop creating excuses, they have to take action.
And be accountable and be responsible, yeah.
Bingo. So the determination that I made after this long process was, if I can get people to truly identify an excuse as poison, and if I can teach them to catch those excuses and stop themselves, I've taken away the paralysis that freezes them. So then I said, okay, if excuses are the center point of failure and self-accountability, so if I can make people own their failure, I can make them own their success. But without that ownership of failure, I got a real issue or a real challenge getting them to own success.
Absolutely.
And I realized that there were really 6 key excuses that we focus on. The first one, and very relatable, fear. You know, I'm scared of failure, or I'm scared to do it in the first place, or I'm scared, I'm worried, I'm fearful. But if we stop and think about it, somebody else has been in the same position as you, if not thousands of people, and they got past the fear. So the fear is really BS. If you really sit and think about it, it's a BS excuse that paralyzes you. Then I look at the next excuse, knowledge. Oh, I don't know enough to do this. You know, I don't know enough to do this. Or my ego is so great that I know too much to do this, right? It's beneath me to do it. So now I say, okay, I don't have the knowledge to do it. Tell that to Stephen Jobs. Tell that to Henry Ford. So knowledge is not an obstacle of growth. Growth is knowledge. So if you don't try it, you never learn it. If I try it, son of a gun, I learn it. So, I mean, that's the most ridiculous excuse of all. Then I love the excuse of circumstance. Well, the economy is bad. Somebody made money in a bad economy. It rains. You know, years ago I opened a restaurant in Seattle, Washington. Everybody says to me, John, it rains every day here. So I put these metal poles in the deck where you could put golf umbrellas in. So I could walk around, put the umbrella down, we could talk, and it was a really cool thing. So we take the rain from a liability to an asset.
That's cool.
Consequence is a big one. Ego is a big one. You know this. This isn't your child, it's a podcast. If it's great, so be it. If it isn't, you're not going to blow your brains out. It's not your child. Let's just keep this in perspective here. This is a business. If the wall stinks, get rid of it. If the color is wrong, change it. If the content is wrong, fix it. So circumstance is a big one. Then we take a look at the premise of time. I love this one. Yeah, Louis, I would have done it. I didn't have the time, buddy. But I sat on social media for 3 hours this morning. That I had the time to do. You know, hour and a half breakfast, extra cup of coffee, maybe look at the sunset, beautiful view outside. You know, when I wake up in the morning, that's my time. I do what I want with it. All of these excuses are complete
BS.
So if I can get people to understand that, I can move them forward, and that's my passion.
I love it, man.